Here's Emmitt Smith. What does he do but break a tackle, breaks another, and scoots through for a gain of 14 yards. Dwayne Washington makes the tackle.
65. The 5-yard penalty remains first down.
But that's okay. I mean, I think when you talk about Emmitt Smith, the great quarterbacks bring their teams from behind, and great running backs exert themselves in the fourth quarter. Emmitt Smith has been a great fourth quarter running back in his career.
Chatting with him last night, he's such a fun man to talk to about his art or his craft. And he said he looks at his effort as a painting. Here's the pass to Johnson, and they get it down inside the 45 to the 43. Just to wrap it up about Emmitt, and we'll be talking about him for the rest of the night. But he said he sees his runs as a series of brush strokes. And then at the end of the night, he gets great pleasure when it's gone well to look back at the whole and realize that it is a thing of beauty. A rather eloquent way of talking about what he does for a living.
Well, he's probably hung very nice pictures in his den because he's had a bunch of beautiful artwork in his 6-year career, and this has been a tough one, but one you can appreciate too.
Aikman back, play action, blitz coming. They go across the middle. There's Novacek, first down at the 28. They are an outstanding fourth quarter team. And this drive began at the 20 following the Saxon punt.
Jay Novacek, number 84, no jam, gets off cleanly. If you're going to slow Jay Novacek down, you've got to jam him at the line of scrimmage. Nobody does. It's he against McDaniel. It's an athletic catch of a well-thrown ball by Aikman, and the Cowboys are on the move.
Novacek, 4 catches, 42 yards. First and 10 at the 28. They fake the toss, and Aikman wants a screen pass left. A flag is down. Here's Novacek. He's got blockers in front and weaves his way inside the 10 to the 5, down at the 1-yard line.
Oh, boy, that was a nice play. Second screen. There are 2 flags down. The second screen they've run to their left on this drive, and both of them have worked magnificently. There'll be a penalty against the Vikings, so they'll have a first down inside the 5.
Offside by the defense, number 93. The penalty is declined. First down.
They give the Cowboys some credit for adjusting. The fake to the pitch to Emmitt, he attracts a crowd. They threw the earlier screen to Johnson, this time to Novacek. You get Michael Irvin screening his guy off, Ray Donaldson powering his guy, and the Cowboys have first and goal.
Emmitt Smith has rushed for a touchdown in 9 consecutive games. That is a Cowboy club record. The Cowboys have a first and goal at the 2 with Emmitt Smith the deep back. Smith. Touchdown Dallas. Make it 10 games in a row.
They're going to go for 2. I think they should go for 2 here. Yeah. You know, he was upset ever since he fumbled the ball in this football game. I'm talking about Emmitt Smith. But he atoned for it here in the fourth quarter, where he's been a dominant player during his career. Okay, that offensive line, this is where you need guys to stay low, just give you a little crease. The good lead block by Johnston. And even though he gets hit, he didn't take the clean shot, spin in midair, and gets the ball in the end zone. And now they go for 2.
Cowboys have never converted a 2-point play. Smith in motion. Now they have.
Boy, is that a good throw. And a good catch. This guy was covered. Novacek was covered. And it starts with a touchdown. They gave him the chance, the 2-point play. A great fourth quarter drive where the Cowboys have always been tough. And the Cowboys have a 17-10 lead.
The Cowboys go 80 yards in 7 plays. It took only 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Emmitt Smith gets the touchdown, and he has now scored 77 rushing touchdowns in 80 games. Take a look at the rushing ratio. Jim Brown had 106 and 118, and Emmett's in that category. Walter Payton, of course, the leader with 110 in 190 games. Here's the kick by John Baker. Cowboys up by 7. David Palmer at the 5. Watch out. Watch out.
No, he is kind of fun to watch, isn't he? Let's go back to the two-point play, because I think this is a remarkable throw and a great catch by Jay Novacek. Now, he is covered. Right there, he's going to be in the middle of your screen right now. He's covered by Broderick Thomas, and the ball was thrown away from the defender. He caught it all hands. That is pretty good. That's throwing darts, and that's catching a pass when you're well covered. And that's 2 points for the Cowboys.
Warren Moon back as a signal caller. And here's Charles Evans out of the backfield with the catch at the 41. That's a 2-yard pickup. And the defensive job done by Robert Jones.
I think this is an important part of the game for the Vikings. I mean, everybody knows how good the Cowboys are, but you know, the Vikings are in that mass of teams, the NFC. They're trying to prove themselves, and be able to come back against the Cowboys right now, I think would give them a big lift for the rest of the season and be a real, could be one of those turning points for them.
2nd and 8, 9:13 to go. Chris Carter can't hang on. Just behind him. In front of Clayton Holmes. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
And twice now in this 4th quarter, Vern, they've gotten themselves in 3rd and long. First 3 quarters, they weren't in 3rd and long, but twice this time they have.
In this half, only 25 yards on the ground for the Vikings, only 45 yards passing the ball. They led 10-9 at the half. Total of 82 yards now. That's current. And you see Dallas has gone up to 175 yards in this half. 3rd and 8. 4-man rush. Moon right side for Reed. And again, pretty good coverage by Clayton Holmes. His coaching staff says Clayton Holmes is the best athlete on the ball club.
Boy, did Tony Tolbert get a hold of Warren Moon. I mean, one of the reasons Clayton Holmes was able to cover Jake Reed that time and do it pretty well is because of the rush of Tony Tolbert. But, you know, Elway tested Holmes 3 times deep last week. Didn't really convert. They test him here. That's pretty good coverage again by Clayton Holmes.
Mike Saxon on to punt. The return is on all the way. Saxon, Kevin Williams at the 22. Nice return.
Maybe he should have punted in the end zone.
8:45 remaining in this one. And the Cowboys have assumed command there. Oetzer is. That'll air November 8th. 1st and 10. Dallas. Aikman. Quick setup. Michael Irvin.
And here's where the Cowboy offensive line, I think, can make the difference in the ballgame. Both in the pass protection, as they did there for Aikman, and then running the ball for Emmitt Smith. This is the time when this offensive line can wear you down. Good cut block there by Ron Stone. Allowed the ball to get unimpeded to Michael Irvin.
Michael with 7 catches for 84 yards now. Closing in on a 100-yard day. Backs in the eye. Smith. He's gone over 100 again. Ed McDaniel with a tackle.
Boy, good trap block there. Real good trap block by Larry Allen, the right guard. What he doesn't see, he feels. He just has a great sense of where people are, where his guys are, where the enemy is, and that's what makes him a one sensational back, the best running back in football today.
3rd straight 100-plus game. He's got 109. Aikman chased. John Randall. They get a big play on defense. They need a turnover.
Number 93 beats Nate Newton quickly. It's a speed rush. And once he gets the speed rush going, look out. I mean, Nate Newton had a pretty good day so far against John Randall, but that time John Randall just blew right by him.
That's a loss of 8. It's second down and 18. It's the second sack of the season for Troy Aikman. Second tonight. Irvin and Fleming are in. On second and 18. Football! Viking football.
We said at the very beginning of this show the Vikings needed 2 or 3 defensive turnovers to win it. Tony Dungy teams create turnovers. Now that ball was just a mishandled snap, but nonetheless the Vikings come up with their second turnover again. I don't think Aikman ever touched that ball. It went right through his hands. Ray Donaldson hiked it right through Troy Aikman's hands. See that? Never hit him. Yeah, that was a strange snap. Very strange. And Del Rio comes up with it.
That's the second turnover for the Minnesota Viking defense. They trail by 7. They have the ball at the Cowboy 48. Robert Smith starts right, comes back inside, and runs into Tony Talbert, number 92.
Boy, has he been good as a coordinator here. Look what's happened since 1992 when Tony came here. 17 defensive touchdowns over the past 3 seasons. Interceptions, sacks, takeaways. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Someday there will be a head coaching job.
Yeah, open for him. And it's no accident. That's good coaching and good plan.
James Harris, 99, gets credit for the fumble recovery. It's second down and 9. 6:25 to go. Warren Moon comes right. Caught and dropped. Charles Haley.
Tough time to take a sack.
Second sack tonight for Haley.
Yeah, down by 7 points, and you go from 2nd and 10. If you throw your ball away to 3rd and forever, and you have to account for him. You have to know where he is, and you have to double team him. That was a single block, it looked like, on Charles Haley. And he is a sack waiting to happen. It's Stussy. Gets the single on him. And that's not good. Like a good running back, Charles Haley. Just kind of gave him a hip, took it away, makes a sack.
3rd and 19. 5:55 to go. That was just furious pressure from Leon Lett and friends.
You're right, and it was friends. First, you take care of Charles Haley. This time they double team him with Stussy in the back. Tony Tolbert is going to raise some havoc first, and then he gets some help from Leon Lett. There's Tolbert. Lett finishes him off. But it started because of the concern with Haley. One-on-one on Tolbert, one-on-one on Lett. The result, a sack.
And nothing out of the turnover created on the missed snap. Here's Saxon. That's another returnable punt. Kevin Williams at the 21. He's knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line by Robert Griffith, number 24.
A lot of Mike Saxon. A lot of punts.
And a missed Father Faye's field goal that ended his streak of 31 in a row. Here's Emmitt Smith. Moves it out from the 25-yard line to the 28-yard line. That's his 17th carry. The rushing leader. He was talking with us yesterday. We had an engaging conversation with Emmitt because we laid down ground rules. No Deion Sanders, no discussion of the hamstring, and no mention of November 12th when they play the 49ers.
Exactly
he said,
right.
Folks, I got an hour.
He's coming. He is coming.
Second down and 6. 5 minutes to go. Smith.
Vern, you know you're a good football team when you can run the ball when the defense expects it. And the Cowboys have been able to do that. They won 2 of their games last year in the 4th quarter. We've talked about them being a good 4th quarter team and the best 4th quarter runners right there. Actually, they won 3 in the 4th quarter last year.
What's Ernie doing?
There's some concern there.
He's nervous. I think that may be a cigarette. Yes.
There's
Got
our
him.
guy. There
Got
it
him.
is, yeah.
Do I know Zambezi?
Oh, you know smokers.
I used to be one. 3rd and 4. That was an extra long.
Oh, that might be a free one.
Now it's a stub.
Yeah, they're going to get Larry Allen, I think.
False start prior to the snap by the offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Yeah, you're going to see. What happens, you want to point first in this thing. When this happens, you got to start point first. Barker got the first point in, and the hangdog look there of Larry Allen. When you got that hangdog look, you know you're guilty, you know?
Larry Allen from Sonoma State developed a hangdog look out there. 3rd and 9. 4:10 to go in regulation. Aikman into the flat for Emmitt Smith. Dwayne Washington. It'll be 4th down. The Vikings will get it back.
Well, we're going to have a pretty good finish to this thing. Again, a good pass rush, good coverage, because it was 3rd and long, and it forced Aikman. They forced Aikman to dump the ball off to Emmitt Smith. And that's as good as Emmitt is. That's what you want to have happen on 3rd and very long, a pass in the flat.
David Palmer back to return the John Jett punt. 3.5 and the clock running. 17-10.
They're going to get good field position.
They should. Dale Hillestray snaps it back. Nice and high. Fair catch called by Palmer. Grabs it at the 44-yard line. So the Minnesota Vikings have 3 minutes and 14 seconds left, and they find themselves 56 yards away from tying this one up or going in front.
Well, how long he carried that team. But right now, 2nd year with a new team, 3:14 left. He's got to get the ball in the end zone. He's got to stick it in the end zone.
46.
From the 44, 1st and 10. Amp Lee is in the backfield. He is the pass receiving specialist. Bull rush from Talbot. Moon heaves it out. Oh boy, Brock Marion battling Jake Reed and knocked it away.
And they had 3 guys on Charles Haley that time, including Chris Carter. I mean, they had Stussy, they had Carter, watch, and then they had a tight end. And he still gets through them. I mean, that is one determined pass rush.
And Tony Tolbert was also in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Number 92, 2nd down and 10. Tony Tolbert.
Well, they read that one early. You hear the defensive guys calling draw.
Russell Maryland.
Yeah, the 4th quarter player, Russell Maryland.
Coming up next, the Steel postgame report. We'll have scores and highlights from all the 3rd week action around the National Football League. Vince Cellini and Mark May have the stories covered, and Ernie Johnson is with us. He'll have tonight's stars from Minneapolis.
And with 2:40 remaining in the ball game, I think the Vikings have to think about, hey, they have 2 downs to pick up this 10 yards. You don't necessarily need to get it all right here.
4-man rush. Moon. Reed. Almost broke it open. 1st down at the 34.
Boy, has he had a good game. His 6th catch of the afternoon or evening for Reed. 87 yards. He's caught a touchdown, and that was a perfect read and throw by Moon. It's R-E-A-D, not R-E-E-D.
I caught you.
Yeah. That's good offense.
O-F-F-E-N-S-E. Time has been called. T-I-M. The Cowboys back home against Arizona next week. The Vikings' tough road continues. They go on to Pittsburgh. They're hoping to go in with a victory, and they need a touchdown. Now the guy's looking for himself on television, and he doesn't realize he's already been on. David Palmer is in at wide receiver, wide to the right side. This is Chris Carter in motion. Again, a 4-man rush. They go to the left side. They catch Larry Brown.
That's interference.
No flags?
No.
Wow. Whoa.
Unless Larry Brown had his head turned, it looked like interference, but he has his head turned, and he called incidental contact. Watch Larry Brown. This was a good matchup. Sent a guy in motion. That's not. That's good defense.
Yeah, sure is. And Jake Reed had a little claw action there.
Yeah, he got his head turned. Yeah, right there. There's the claw. Pulling the Drew Pearson on him, wasn't he? They're paying him back after 20 years.
It's Nate Wright and Drew Pearson. 1975. Bring on the leisure suits.
I still have mine.
I noticed. 2nd and 10. Left side. Caught at the 33. It'll be 3rd down. Dixon Edwards with the tackle.
Okay, again, Vern, in that 3rd down situation where, you know, you'd like to get the 1st down, but you don't have to. You don't have to. 3rd about 6. But after, if and when they get an next 1st down, I think they want to take a couple of shots at the end zone because it gets very, very difficult to score on the Cowboys inside the 25.
86 seconds to go. 3rd and 6. Moon. What a pass. What a dandy pass. Moon to Reed.
That's beautiful. Dandy, beautiful, whatever you want to call it. That was absolutely spectacular. Clutch play. Battling the Cowboys. Knowing that Haley's coming in on you. You know Haley's going to get single blocked. And he finds the big old 6'3" Jake Reed. A perfectly thrown ball in between 2 defenders, working on Larry Brown as they have this 2nd half.
Clock still running. 40 seconds to go. 1st and goal from the 10. Oh, how about that? Now will they use a timeout? Yes.
Yep. Well, I don't like to see that play. You know, I just don't think they're going to run it in from there, Vern. And now they have 3 downs left. I would have much rather seen them use a timeout then early before that play and then take 4 throws in the end zone if necessary. Because they're receivers. You know, you throw it up, and he's going to have a pretty good chance of going up and getting it. Now, the Cowboys know that, too. I mean, the Cowboys and Dave Campbell, the defensive coordinator, if you're Dave Campbell, you're going to take Chris Carter away. But you know what? Again, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, the first guy you're looking at is Chris Carter. Force someone else to beat you, although Jake Reed has done it good in the 2nd half.
Reed's caught 8. Watch for Carter in the fade. He's on the right side. There's the fade. There's Chris Carter. Touchdown! Oh, man!
Well, he came to the sideline, and we saw him say to Brian Billick, I can run a fade. And that was a little fade adjustment. They got the bump and run, the good throw. They gave him the chance. You give great players a chance at big moments, and oftentimes they come through. And Chris Carter's been doing that virtually his entire career. On Clayton Holmes, you see the bump and run? So he fakes the fade, and then he kind of works his way outside. And that's a great catch, and a clutch catch. And they'll go for 1 in the tie.
Mike Morris is the center. Mike Saxon is the holder. Fawad Reveiz will try and tie it up.
Wow, that was one clutch drive.
Great pass, Moon to Reed. Terrific pass, Moon to Carter. Saxon to hold. Mike Morris snaps it. This is for the tie. We're notched at 17.
There were 2 overtime games today in the NFL. New Orleans and Atlanta and the Raiders and the Chiefs. And here's the pass. You're right, this was a real good throw. The one to Jake Reed was even better than the play earlier. But that's a heck of a catch.
That's not a bad catch at all.
Not bad coverage, but sometimes you're just gonna get beaten. And Warren Moon threw it away from the defender, and Chris Carter made an adjustment while the ball was in the air. That's fun to watch. That is fun to watch. He's kind of a low-key guy, isn't he?
cut from the Philadelphia Eagles, where he played for Buddy Ryan. He told us again yesterday that Buddy Ryan did him a favor. He bears him no ill will. He said he grew up a lot after he was released. He had no place to go. He signed in Minnesota, thought it was going to go well here. They told him it was going to go well. First thing they did is put him behind Anthony Carter. And he was told at one time by a coaching staff that is no longer here, as long as Hassan Jones and Anthony Carter were here, he would not be a starter. Now he is. 122 catches last year, and he's got 5 tonight and the touchdown for the tie.
And that touchdown, though, that opportunity was set up because of Jake Reed.
Right.
The big night that Jake Reed has had, and they couldn't double Chris Carter on that play.
30 seconds to go in regulation. Brock Marion, Kevin Williams are deep. Fuad Reveas will kick it off. And he launches one. He launches one. Oh, boy.
You know, I was just going to say, because Kevin Williams last year returned 2 kicks for touchdowns. So the launch was needed there.
30 seconds to go. Aikman.
Well, they have 3 timeouts remaining and 30 seconds. And you wonder how Barry Switzer is going to play this. Because Barry Switzer this year is the pitcher of record. Last year he was kind of filling in. But he is the pitcher of record, and it's his decision now. You play in the overtime or to give your experienced players a chance with 30 seconds and 3 timeouts.
He said the second year is a lot easier than the first. He's adjusted to his players and they to him. First down and 10. Screen pass. Oh, Emmitt Smith is wrapped up and dropped at the 15. Jack Del Rio, the one-time Cowboy. Now I think they're going to let the time go.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you can fool Jack Del Rio once, and maybe you fool him twice because they did on 2 screenplays. But on the third one, you don't. And Broderick Thomas, I think, was a part of that as well.
We're going to overtime. These 2 teams came into the NFL. They were awarded the franchises in 1959. The Cowboys played first in 1960. Minnesota started its play in 1961. The first game the Vikings ever played was an exhibition game against the Dallas Cowboys in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. 4,000 people showed up. We've got 60,000 on hand tonight.
And they've seen a little bit of everything. I mean, they've seen some good defense. They've seen some real good special teams. I mean, some good plays, some bad plays. It's been an entertaining night for football fans here in Minneapolis.
Jack Del Rio and Billy Bates.
And one guy's got blood on his elbow. The other guy's got sweat all over him. And even though they're playing indoors, it looks pretty good.
Cowboys win the toss. They will receive. We're going to commercial, and then we're coming back and going into overtime. 17 all. It's 16-10 in 1977. The Vikings won at 44-38 in 1988.
Now, we looked at the touchdown a couple times to Chris Carter, but here's what set it up. A throw under duress, as good a throw as you can possibly make. Catch by Jake Reed. Carter came off and said, I can run the fade. I can run the fade. He ran the fade. He scored. Tie ball game.
Extra point by Reveas with 30 seconds to go. Warren Moon composed.
Yeah, really. Michael Irvin composed for Michael.
That's right.
That's the way he always is.
These 2 teams, as we said, came in to the league 35 and 36 years ago. Dallas leads the overall series 11-7, and the Cowboys have only lost in Minnesota twice in all the times they played here.
Now, if I'm the Vikings, I'm trying to kick the ball away from Kevin Williams. Don't let Kevin Williams beat you this early in overtime.
Well, Fuad Reveas got the touchback last time out, 72-yard kick. This is a good one, but it will be returned. Williams at the 4. Out to the 26. All in all, pretty good coverage.
Yep.
And Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and the Dallas Cowboys come back on the field.
Well, we talked about Aikman. He can struggle some as he has tonight. This has not been his best performance, but with one play, he can end the game. I mean, he has that kind of ability. He's that tough, and he doesn't get discouraged.
Eric Williams on the bench with the bull calf muscle. Ron Stone at right tackle. The rest of the offensive line remains intact. And Aikman will throw. Deep right side, Michael Irvin. Just like that.
And again, you know, the toughness of Troy Aikman. I mean, he just was under duress again and took a shot. I mean, he is part flannel suit or shirt and part tuxedo. I mean, he can be tough and he can be classy and play with finesse. And very few guys could do this.
I think you've just composed a country western song.
Did I?
Yeah.
Part flannel shirt, part tuxedo.
Lyle Lovett will put it to music next week.
Maybe.
First and 10 at the 49. Aikman left side. At the feet of Darryl Johnston.
You know, for the Cowboys, they have to be concerned a little bit about their kicker, Chris Boniol. I mean, missed an extra point, missed a very short field goal, and now he may be in a situation to win the football game. He's had one in his career a year ago against Cincinnati.
John Baker is the kickoff specialist. Boniol has been suffering from a strained quadricep muscle. I don't know that affected him tonight, but that's one reason John Baker's still on the roster. Here's second down, Emmitt Smith. Gets to the 47-yard line. Ed McDaniel, number 58, with a tackle. It'll be third and a need probably of 7 by the time they spot the football.
Now here's where the offensive line has to give Troy Aikman some time, where he has been under duress almost this whole game. Barry Switzer said to us yesterday, he's wishing us, he's very close to his eyes, wishing.
Right.
He said to us yesterday, if we can protect Aikman, we have a chance on their corners.
Fleming and Novacek come near side. It's 3rd and 6. Irvin, Williams right side. Aikman back across the middle. Corey Fleming to the 30-yard line.
And that's a big play for the Cowboys. And Corey Fleming's a guy last week against Denver, dropped a Hail Mary pass at the end of the half, and Ernie Zampese was saying, hey, we need Corey Fleming to play better. Well, here in overtime, he did. But it started with a protection, Vern. Very good protection there for Aikman. So it's an easy throw there to Fleming.
A gain of 17 yards. And now Boniol is going to start pacing the sidelines. First and 10 Dallas. 17-17 in overtime. Emmitt Smith, watch out. This could be over.
It is.
Touchdown Dallas. A 31-yard scamper for the guy that Pat feels is the best running back in the league. What a comeback from a fumble that angered him for much of the night. 150 yards for Emmitt Smith for the evening. And he wins it for the Cowboys with a 31-yard run in overtime.
Yeah, he's the best runner, and he's the best fourth quarter player too. And now maybe the best overtime player. Watch the left side of the offensive line. And you're going to see a guy that has made one big play after another, even though he struggled. He had 3 big runs, long runs. You didn't even have to have his belt thing done. Maybe
his belt thing.
The belt thing is his belt or whatever it is.
Oh boy, the fashion police in the league are going to find him for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know, watch the left side.
At least it's not a swoosh.
It is. There you go. 2-a, sealed off the inside, and Emmitt saw it, he felt it, and then he outran Charles Mitchell.
It was a close call. Which would come first, the touchdown or the possibility that his pants were going to fall down? Emmitt Smith, 31 yards. Toughest tackle provided by Michael Irvin.
Creating a higher standard by Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown. By Red Dog Beer, bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. And by the only fruit you can wear, Fruit of the Loom, always in season.
Cowboys win it in overtime, a 31-yard toss, or rather run by Emmitt Smith. And did he or did he not get in?
No, we took a look at it. He did. You're going to see as his left foot hits the pylon, which is part of the goal line, he's in. Didn't go out of bounds there. Actually, it's his right foot. Excuse me. His right foot goes in. And that is a touchdown because the end line goes all around the world. It's an imaginary line.
And the suspense on Emmitt Smith's 31-yard run was the fact that his belt had come loose. Which would he make it? We now discovered the real meaning in football of a dangling participle.
We had the gerund, we had everything. We had participles. That's it.
We had Emmitt Smith rushing for 222 yards in the second half. He was 8 for 27 in the first half. He is a terrific football player, and you do not shut him out. He is our Cadillac player of the game. 150 for the night, a 7.5 yards per carry average, 2 touchdowns, and a big second half that helps the Cowboys maintain their undefeated status. Once again, the final score, the Cowboys 23 and the Vikings 17. Join us again next Sunday for NFL action on TNT, starting at 7 o'clock Eastern with the Coors Light Pro Football Tonight pregame show. Then at 8 o'clock next Sunday, we'll be in Jacksonville, where Brent Favre and the Green Bay Packers take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Stay tuned now for the Steel postgame report. Ernie Johnson joins Mark May and Vince Cellini with a complete wrap-up of the third week in the NFL. For Pat Hayden, I'm Vern Lundquist saying good night from Minneapolis.
One U.S. airline can fly you to more European cities than any other. Delta Airlines. You'll love the way we fly.
My biggest asset's my people. They're experts in solving your problems.
This is Ron Camerata, Federated Store Manager. He's been in the parts business 31 years.
Federated has the quality products, quality people, and we're very competitive. Customers call, they ask your advice, they ask your help for things. That's part of being a store manager. And that's rewarding because they know that you've gone out of your way to give them what they need.
When you want the best parts and expert advice, go to your Federated Auto Parts store.
The load in that quarterback's pants is brought to you by Greg Lloyd and his Brutus Lowe, who remind you that players are made in the preseason.
Before introduction, a Moen faucet is tested at least 500,000 times against leaks and drips. So it's hard to find a more reliable faucet, no matter how you look at it. Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
If you want to know how good life really tastes, you need to wait a few years. Caffeine-free Diet Coke. No caffeine, no sugar, no limits.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.
If we have moved to the cushy chairs on the set, you know it's time to put a capper on the Pro Football Day Week 3. Hi, I'm Vince Cellini, and welcome to the Steel Post-Game Report. You just watched the Dallas Cowboys beat the Minnesota Vikings 23-17 in overtime on Emmitt Smith's touchdown, 150 yards rushing. And call me crazy, Mark May, but I think Emmitt may have a little bit of business to take care of with Jerry Jones. Concerning reopening the contract, I don't know.
I think tomorrow morning, the first thing in the morning, what Emmitt's going to do is he's going to go to Jerry Jones' office and say, Deion got $35 million, I'm due for 36.
I'll tell you what, he deserves whatever he gets. Some teams maybe didn't deserve a win that won games today. It was a wild Week 3 in the NFL. Some teams were pretty fortunate to come away with victories.
Absolutely right. Today was a day where it's better to be lucky than good in the NFL. Some teams botched opportunities, missed field goals, had crazy turnovers today, but were fortunate to pull it out in the fourth quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, the San Francisco 49ers left no doubt in their game that took place at home against the Pats. Yes, the Patriots at San Francisco. They were supposed to play there on October 22nd of 1989. The game was shifted to Palo Alto because of an earthquake at that time. Well, today they got together at 3Com Park, and that's Drew Bledsoe. And Drew Bledsoe facing another pretty tough team. He's nailed by Kenny Norton there in the first quarter. Had to leave the game because of an injury to his left shoulder. That was his mind. He's a little concerned, but don't be. Scott Zolak at quarterback to Curtis Martin on a 4th and 1. And he's stuck by Merton Hanks. So Parcells needs help. He needs his kid back in there. And Drew Bledsoe did return to the ballgame. Second quarter, and the Patriots are driving. Third down on the 49er 25. Bledsoe's pass is knocked down by Alfred Williams. They put pressure on Bledsoe all day. The Pats had to settle for a field goal. 3-0. Under a minute to go in the first half. Out of the no huddle, look at Young to Jerry Rice. 21 yards and a score, 7-3 49ers. On to the third quarter, and Young and Rice picking up where they left off in the first half. They connect on this 16-yard touchdown. And this is George Seifert. He's jumping for joy. It's 14-3 49ers. And Bledsoe, he's having trouble with the Niner defense. Merton Hanks comes up with one of 2 interceptions for him. They was trying to go to Brisbee there. And Bledsoe, just another rough afternoon. Points-wise, personally as well. Steve Young, he's doing it through the air from 1 yard out to sneak for the touchdown. 21-3 49ers. And then Young flipping to Derek Lavelle for the 3-yard touchdown. 284 yards passing for him. Steve Young is all pumped up about it. And I'll tell you what, out there at 3Com Park, Dion Hu has become a rallying point. 28-3 San Francisco. The final numbers. Young had 3 touchdown passes. He ran for the other score. The Pats still have only 1 touchdown this season, failing to score on 6 drives inside the San Francisco 25. Here's your fantasy numbers. Jerry Rice. He's Mr. Fantasy League. 6 receptions, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lavelle, 58 on the ground, 42 through the air. And here's Curtis Martin, 63 yards. All right, we want to go back up now to the Metrodome in Minneapolis, where Ernie Johnson is standing by with a guy who ended the ball game for the Dallas Cowboys and won it. Ernie?
Thank you very much, Vince. Here with Emmitt Smith and Nate Newton, 2 of the members of the victorious Dallas Cowboys. In overtime tonight, 23-17. Right off the bat, guys, we want to look at the game-winning play and have you guys describe it for us as we look at it from the end zone angle. Emmitt, it's all you as you tell us about the game winner.
Jack Del Rio was on the line. I actually bounced outside, inside the block, cut up inside. There was nothing but room. He basically had everybody up on the line, and from that point on was just a foot race.
Nate Newton, your take on this. I know early on you were involved, and then it was everybody who was watching 22 from behind.
Yeah, definitely. What I saw was we was going to call a bump play to go down on the center man, but they stepped up to the line, and I just grabbed the first man I saw and held on, and it jumped outside.
You know, there weren't a whole lot of folks that thought this thing was going to go to overtime. They thought Dallas will come in here, they'll take care of business. A little tougher, but maybe you guys weren't exactly clicking. Did you feel like things were a little out of sync tonight?
I think we definitely didn't play as well as we would like to play, but you know, you got to give those guys credit. They put their pants on the same way we do, and they're professional athletes just like we are. So you know, you can't take nothing away from them. They played a great ball game, and we just didn't execute like we wanted to, but we went out there and did enough to get the job done.
Nate, you must know that when you come out here, any place you visit as the Dallas Cowboys, that you're marked guys, and this gets everybody pumped up from the fans to everybody on the other side. How do you deal with that?
Well, you know, when they first told me they don't lose in the Metrodome, we were like, okay, here we go again. They pumped up, but we had to stay settled. We had to believe that we can get it in the end. And when it went overtime, we felt we had it with Emmitt back there.
Well, you know, Emmitt, I think you finally let yourself smile. You were pretty game face out there, even after you scored. And I know there were times when you came to the sidelines and I thought you told Barry Switzer, I've been open on plays all night.
I have.
And that's what you told him. And what did Barry say to you?
He said, just be patient. He'll find you. And you know, it was sort of disappointing for that, not only for me but everybody. I think we didn't, like I said, we didn't play as well as we like to, but we went out and executed it well enough to win the game. And that's all that counts.
Disappointing or frustrating? Was it a frustrating game for you tonight?
It was a frustrating game because once you see an offense, once you know that you can click on all cylinders, and you come into a game and things are just falling apart in small portions, and you can't really put a finger on what's going on or what's wrong. And, you know, you're struggling and you're really not giving your best performance. You're trying hard physically, but things just not falling your way. And that's just the way it was for us tonight.
Nate, will you tell me what it's like, what kind of feeling you leave a ballpark with after a win, after you've blocked for this guy? You see the fruits of your labor pretty much on a 31-yard game winner like that.
Well, you feel good, but like Emmett said, you know, things is frustrating. We would drop a pass, we'll miss a block, we'll mess up an assignment. So you know, it gets kind of frustrating, but when we win, we've been taught when we win, we go in and watch films on Monday, correct our mistakes, and try to win better next time.
And, you know, you mentioned the fumble. Does that stick with you?
Yes,
or as a professional, can you say, okay, hit me the next one, Coach?
Well, it sticks with me. I mean, my job is to carry the ball, not lay it down on the ground. And, you know, when you fumble the ball, and if you're fumbling a lot, you won't be in the NFL for a long period of time. And, you know, my goal is to keep the ball in my hands and give my offense an opportunity to win the game. And, you know, I kind of let them down on that particular play, but, you know, we was able to bounce back and, like I said, put the ball in the end zone and score enough points where we could win the game.
Nate, did this game tell you anything about the Cowboys that you didn't already know?
No, it just tells us that we got to come even more prepared. You get more prepared during the week because everybody's going to be pumped for us. We didn't win the Super Bowl, everybody's still pumped.
Hey, you got some buddy ball next week, huh?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Restrain your enthusiasm.
Don't get any easier,
All right.
as you can tell.
Emmett Smith, thank you very much. Nice ball game. Thanks for joining us. Nate, thanks a lot. Yeah, they got some Cowboy fans up here at the Metrodome. The Vikings fall to the Cowboys in OT 23-17. Let us go back to Atlanta, Vince.
Thanks, EJ. Cowboy fans everywhere. You know, Mark May used to have arms as big as Nate Newton's at one time.
I wish.
All right, back to the 49ers and Patriots game. And New England has to really be concerned now. 1 touchdown in 3 games. They've made 15 trips in the red zone and come away with 1 touchdown in 3 games, Mark. Well, how do you break out of that, first of all?
Well, this is a situation that Coach Bill Parcells has to be aware of. First, the offensive team may lose their confidence. I've been in this situation before, the Washington Redskins. You're moving the ball inside the hashes from 20 to 20, but you're not scoring points. So the offense has to get their confidence back. You've got a young quarterback in Drew Bledsoe. He's thrown 149 times, but he's the only starting quarterback in the NFL without a touchdown in the air. So he's got to get their confidence back. He's got to build it up this week. He can't tear down their confidence. He's got to get in there and tell these guys, hey, you can do it. We're going to run reverses. We're going to run screens. We're going to put this ball in the end zone, but you guys keep your head up. It's very easy for a team to lose their confidence in that situation.
Well, I'll tell you what, the guys who made it happen and made those guys struggle from the Patriots, the San Francisco 49er defense. They're an underrated bunch at times because they have so many spectacular players on that 49er offense. But our Craig Sager was in 3 Count Park and took a look at that Niner defense and what they did today.
The defending Super Bowl champions have been on the defensive lately, and that has brought out the best in them. With a quick, aggressive attack, the 49ers forced 4 New England turnovers and displayed the mental and physical toughness that has made them #1 against the rush.
Defensively, we like games like this. We like to get our chance to show that we can play ball. So often you talk about Jerry Rice and what the offense can do. Games like this, we're tested. I think Bill Parcells came out and he really tested us, and offense wasn't clicking early, and defensively, we got our chance to really show ourselves, and we're very, very proud about what we did today.
What sets the 49ers defense apart, besides the obvious, which is talent, is desire and consistency. Under new defensive coordinator Pete Carroll, there's a single-mindedness of purpose, which today was to keep Drew Bledsoe out of the end zone.
I think we went into this game trying to confuse him because he's still a relatively young quarterback, even though he's a great quarterback. And we were able to get him off his first read, and that was really key in this game. And the entire defense, the defensive line had great pressure, and we were able to cover some people every now and then. And came up big when we had to. That's a hallmark of a defense that's getting better every game.
Bledsoe was intercepted 3 times, sacked 4, and he fumbled once. The most devastating hit by second-year linebacker Lee Woodall.
Well, the biggest play of the game for myself personally was sacking Bledsoe. I mean, I had even thought about it last night. I wanted to get in and do a blitz and, get to Bledsoe and, be on a highlight film and do something different. But that's the main thing for me. That was a big play for me today.
For the 49ers, the building is never complete. The quest never ends. And to the dismay of their rivals, it appears that the defense is even better than a year ago.
All right, thank you very much, Craig Sager. Two other teams had a chance to get to where the Niners and the Cowboys were at 3-0 now. One of them, the St. Louis Rams. The other, the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, one team held up its end of the bargain anyway. We have the Rams at the Panthers, and the first ever game for Carolina at home. They're playing at Clemson Memorial Stadium, and what a big day as the Commissioner Paul Tagliabue was there to throw out the coin toss. And scoreless in the second quarter, Chris Miller, the confident Chris Miller, to Isaac Bruce. 38-yard gain. Bruce is putting together a year. He had 5 catches for 100 yards in this one. And that set up this 2-yard touchdown run by Jerome Bettis, the battering ram near the goal line. 67 yards on the ground for him. Coach Rich Brooks' team is up 7-0. Later in the second, Jack Trudeau is in for the ineffective Frank Reich. In the first play, he is sacked by Carlos Jenkins. The ball recovered by Kevin Carter. The Rams forced 2 fumbles and 5 INTs. 3 plays later, Miller to Jesse Hester, who turns Rod Smith inside out for the 23-yard touchdown catch. Chris Miller is loving it. 14-0 Rams. And the Ram defense in control. In the third quarter, Willie Green fumbles. Anthony Parker recovers. And he's going the other way. 27 yards for the touchdown, 21-3. Rams completely in control. Later, Kerry Collins was at quarterback. They played everyone on the roster at quarterback. This is his first pass, and it's picked by Torrin Dorn, who returns it for the touchdown. 31-3 at that point. Collins was sick about it. 31-10. The final numbers, the Rams host Chicago. They'll try to go to 4-0 next week. We'll give you the fantasy numbers in this game. For St. Louis, we showed you 67 yards on the ground for Bettis. Hester, 54 yards on 3 catches and a touchdown. McLaughlin missed 3 field goals. Could have been worse. Collins, you saw his numbers when he got in there as well. Cincinnati Bengals, Seattle Seahawks at the Kingdome. Quarterback Jeff Blake has led the Bengals to their first 2-0 start in 3 years. After a Seahawks touchdown, Blake to Darnay Scott. And look at this. He just finds some room and explodes through Seahawks. 88 yards for the touchdown. And that tied the game up at 7 apiece as Scott blazes to the touchdown. Second quarter, Rick Meyer really came alive in this game. They've been struggling through 2 games. Winds and throws to a wide-open Rob Thomas, who got behind every Bengal. 14-7, Seattle out in front. 21-30, 279, and a couple of scores for Meyer. In the second half, the Seahawks are up by 3. Chris Warren with the football, and Warren breaks out. That put him over 100 yards for the game. Did that touchdown. Now, 2 minutes left. The Bengals had a chance to tie in a 49-yard try by Doug Pelfrey. He made 6 field goals against Seattle last year, but he has 2 misses today. 2 costly misses, so Dennis Erickson and the Seahawks, first win of the season, 24-21, the final numbers. Here's the fantasy stuff. Warren on the ground, 109 yards and a touchdown. Blades, 7 for 74 yards. Pickens, 8 catches, 88 yards. He's now caught a touchdown in 8 straight games. All right, Mark May, what about these Rams, though? I'll tell you, Rich Brooks, they're not spectacular, but they do force a lot of turnovers, and they don't give up the football.
The Rams are doing it the old-fashioned way, by hard work. I talked to Jack Rowley, their offensive quarterback coach, yesterday, and he informed me that the Rams are using the Washington Redskins' Joe Gibbs philosophy of the 1980s. You get a big fullback, you use the one-back offense, and you just beat up the defense so they can't rush the quarterback. Chris Miller's the quarterback. He's running inside and outside, running dash plays to surround the pocket to get outside of it so there's no pressure on the quarterback. On defense, they're putting all kinds of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They have a lot of sacks. They had 7 defensive turnovers today. 24 out of their 31 points led to those scores, and they lead the league with 12 turnovers. A plus 12, that's amazing. I can't remember when a team led the league with a plus 12 turnover.
I'll tell you, when you don't beat yourself, you always have a chance to win. Just mistake-free football. It'll keep you in ball games. All right, we do have to take a break on the Steel Post-Game Report. Coming up, an in-depth look at perhaps the best division in football, the AFC West. Speaking of which, Oakland at Kansas City. Hostetler, Marcus Allen. This was wild and an overtime finish.
The Steel Pro Football Tonight post-game report is brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Tools and by Auto Value Parts Stores, where you'll find the parts you want at the value you expect.
There aren't many things that can stop a 4x4. There are even fewer things that can stop a Steel. No wonder it's the #1 selling brand of chainsaw worldwide. Available in Steel territory.
Son, head over to the Auto Value parts store and get the starter and the plugs.
They've got what you want at Auto Value right now.
Plus, brake pads, a color TV, and a trip for two to pro football's biggest game.
It's the Big Game Sweepstakes at your nearby Auto Value parts store. Pick up your free registration form at Auto Value and register for Auto Value's Big Game Sweepstakes with hundreds of prizes, including a trip for two to the big game.
Hurry up. We're talking the biggest game of all.
Be a Big Game Sweepstakes winner at Auto Value.
When I punch the clock, I'm a working machine. I got boots to do the job, got my Wolverines. I can tame a wild jackhammer, rewrite miles of interstate. I can work like hell, never get the blues, 'cause I feel like heaven in my Wolverine boots. Wolverine door shocks, guaranteed comfort or your money back. Work like hell, feel like heaven. Wolverine door shocks, made in the USA. You got the winning color.
I run my engine anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day, and that's constant. Been using Pennzoil a little over 20 years, and Pennzoil has always stood by me. It's never failed me.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts, works like liquid ball bearings.
Pennzoil says it works like liquid ball bearings. It must, because it just keeps on rolling.
Engine problems? Before you try a tune-up, try Gum Out first. The solution could be less than $5.
There's a little terminology for you. We're going to do a bump in, and we're vamping right now on the Steel post-game report. Larry Cam, he's flying that boom cam like it's the Memphis Belle. Here's the AFC West. We think it's rather interesting, don't you? Kansas City out to a 3-0 start. And look at the 2-1s there. Only Seattle at 1-2. But you know what? Maybe they're not too bad. And speaking of the AFC West, one of the classic AFC rivalries got even better with the Oakland Raiders traveling to Kansas City. It harkens back to the days of the AFL. This one had a bizarre finish to it as it went to overtime at Arrowhead. Want a subplot? How about Art Shell? 27 years a Raider in some capacity. Offensive line.
Been good in the NFL, and Kansas City's both lucky and good. As you can see in the picture right here, Tim Brown gets picked by the referee. Nailed it out, 23-17, and just win, baby, win. Sometimes you got to take it on the chin, big guy.
We're sorry, Al. 23-17, as he mentioned, 11 of the last 12 now the Chiefs have taken against the Raiders. Marty Schottenheimer is 7-0 all-time at home against the Raiders. Marcus Allen goes over 15,000 yards in his career, the 5th player ever to do that. Dawson with a touchdown, Davis with a touchdown. For Oakland, 20 rushes, 74 yards for Williams, and a couple of scores. Yes, this game, emotions running deep for Art Shell, and our Kevin Kiley was there as Shell shared with him some of his emotions after the game.
Did you get a sense for the rivalry from this side?
Yes, I did. As soon as the game against the Giants was over last week, you could see the mood change, like Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. The change in the attitude was just totally different. I mean, it was awesome. And so now I got a feeling as to how this team prepared for the Raiders in the past years. They love playing the Raiders. They really do. They love playing the Raiders because, you know, they just believe that the Raiders are supposed to be the best, and they're supposed to have the best talent, and they like to meet that challenge.
Was there pain for you emotionally in this?
No pain. I mean, I'm a Chief now. My loyalty is with the Chiefs, and I want to help this football team win a Super Bowl championship. And we're on the right foot. The main thing is the attitude in this football team is outstanding. These guys believe they can win. Even though the experts have been picking them to come in last in their own division, they can't believe it. But it doesn't matter what people say about us. The feeling is we know how we feel about ourselves, and we're going to find a way to win football games.
Special? Is this special? Was it a special feeling at the end?
It's a special feeling. It's special. It's special because we're 3-0.
Can you describe your feelings when you saw him?
I'm with the Chiefs now, and the Raiders, as I said, I had a lot of good years there. I had a lot of good years as a player, and I had a couple of good years as a coach there. But I've moved on with my life, and
can you put it behind you?
Can I put it behind me? Oh yeah, I'm a positive thinker. I believe in moving forward. I will move forward. You don't forget the past. I mean, the past is there. It's part of history. But I will move forward with my life with the Chiefs, and I will relish the time that I have with them.
Is there anything left to speak out about with the Raiders? Is there anything else you'll ever say about it?
No, as far as I'm concerned right now, there's nothing to say.
All right, thank you, Professor Kiley. We want to go back up to the Metrodome now, and Ernie Johnson standing by with a guy who had a pretty heroic performance to send the Dallas Vikings game into overtime. And now the football analyst is going to give us a first-hand view of what happened. EJ?
Thank you, Vince. 22 out of 38, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns for Warren Moon through the air tonight. But, boy, the feeling right now has got to be tough to deal with.
This is when it's tough to do this job, when you have to come out after a game like this. I thought our team really played hard. They gave everything they had. They played physical football. We got some big plays, but it just wasn't enough. And they're a great football team. You got to give them a lot of credit.
There was talk, and in fact, you said it yesterday. You got to play a perfect game if you're going to beat these guys. But still, even without a perfect game, you had a chance to win this thing.
Well, yeah, they didn't play a perfect game either, and some of that was because of us. So you know, when two teams get together like this that are very good physical football teams, which we both are, that some good things and some bad things are going to happen. And when you get into sudden death like that, you never know what's going to happen, because one big play could make the ball game, and they made some big plays, and that was really the difference.
I want to take you back to late in the fourth quarter, and you guys are driving and trying to get the equalizer here, and you're at the sidelines, and you and Chris Carter are over there. Let's take a look at this tape, and you're talking to Brian Billick, and you'll watch. You can watch him. Billick say, "A fade." This is what was, I mean, I'm reading lips. Is this true? Is this Carter's idea? Let's throw a fade on this thing and get the equalizer?
Yeah, he wanted to throw a fade, but I wanted to throw the fade stop, which is a ball where I throw it at Chris's back shoulder, because of the way they play bump and run, they play over the top. And I threw the ball at his back shoulder, and Chris makes the
I mean, that's a heck of an adjustment to make. I mean, you got to know the fade stop is coming over the wrong shoulder.
Right. He gave me the signal that he was going to run it, and we went ahead and did it, and he made a great catch. I had tried it earlier in the ball game, and it just went off his hand, so I know I had to throw it a little bit more at him down there on the goal line.
What's the mood like in this locker room right now?
We're very disappointed. There's no question about it, Ernie, but we realized that we played hard, and we left it all out on the field. Now, when you know you do that, there's a little bit of satisfaction there, but we still lost the football game. What we can't do is get too caught up in this one loss. We have a very tough physical game next week against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, so we're going to be disappointed for a day, but we've got to somehow regroup and get back and ready to play again next week.
What was your take on what the Cowboys were going through tonight? It looked like they were out of kilter, out of sync a little bit.
They were, but, you know, some of that has to do with what we were doing. Tony Dungy came up with a great scheme against their offense. We knew because of our size, we couldn't match up man for man with their defensive line, so we had to shoot some gaps and do some different things, blitz every now and then to try and stop their running game. Sometimes you're going to stuff them. Sometimes they'll make a big play like they did a couple of times with Emmitt Smith, but you can't sit back and just catch this football team. They're too big. They'll knock you all around.
Have you seen enough of Charles Haley to
I've seen enough of Charles Haley my whole career. I mean, he's just one of the best defensive ends in the league today. He's playing very well. Not only does he play the pass, but he plays the run. Just a very smart and intelligent player.
You know, we talked about the relationship between you and